where's the last little thing? I guess that's the annoying things about this kind of game, is that you have to figure out where the last thing you need to click on is, and it's right there.
Well, you were clicking on things and they were swelling.
Yes.
And that's causing me to ponder what exactly this is about.
All right, so it's about life, and it's about this fuzzy little evil spider that's coming around and eating all the life that it can find. So as you play along, you have to take this seed, which, come on man, you dropped the ball. You have to take this little seed throughout this quest, through this natural sort of setting, and it's going to explain it here with a little moment. So you have to take this seed with your little buddies here
to escape
the spider. Yes, and then you plant the seed so that life can begin again. As you play through the game, you'll notice more and more death and more despair, but you have to get beyond that and, you know, start life again.
Death and despair.
Yes, so very happy little game about a very sad topic. But I love it because it is absolutely silly. They do a fantastic job of just showing like the weirdness of life and all these little bugs. Anyways.
And they're all chatting.
They're all chatting.
Chatty chat, little bugs.
Yeah.
So, speaking of chatty chat,
yeah.
You will notice that Philip Daigle is not sitting beside me.
I'm not Phil?
You're not Phil.
Oh, okay.
Well, you were at least being a reasonable facsimile of Phil in the playing of an oddball game.
Yeah.
You are not Phil.
Oh,
so,
okay.
Phil sent in a request in the time off manager.
Oh.
And he had said that I am excreting out of orifices that I do not like and volumes I do not care for.
How is this different from normal?
He said that we're making him uncomfortable.
Okay, all right.
Apparently Phil has some kind of stomach-ish thing going on.
All right, so
we'll leave Phil to his devices.
Get well, Phil.
Yeah. Stop shooting stuff out of both ends, Phil.
Yeah. Did you see gallons or liters?
He didn't really give us a comparison.
All right, that's probably fair.
Phil seems like a proper sort, so he'd probably do it in liters.
All right.
Or decaliters.
Ooh.
That's dark, man.
Yeah.
So, Dan, I'm noticing that the monitor is not on.
Yes. I'm enjoying this very...
I'm enjoying the freedom from
yes,
the stream.
yes.
So one of the things we should probably do is do the marketing news.
Oh, marketing news. That would be me. I'm the marketing guy.
So, by the way, Lee is actually our marketing guy.
Hello.
If you've never met Lee before.
Believe my lies.
That goes deep.
And now the news. All right. So if you've been to beamdog.com lately, you may have noticed that things have changed a little. We've got a brand new website that is...
Cam finally got his wishes, and we burned up the existing site and replaced it with a new site that's all shiny and new.
Yes, the ashes are in the alley, and...
it actually tinkles when you touch it. Tinkle.
So on there, we've got a great sale. We've got all of our main game titles up to 66% off. So if you don't already own those games, go in and get them because you've got hundreds of hours of adventure. And really,
if you have friends that don't own those games, you should tell them this is probably a good time to grab them.
Or stock up for Christmas.
And part of that website redo is we hooked up with Exala as our new payment provider.
Yep.
And we can now take payments in all sorts of strange mechanisms. I'm wondering if we can take ducks. Well, nobody really likes ducks. I'd rather have chickens.
No, yeah, chickens.
Ducks are oily little quacky things.
But they can be delicious.
They're also kind of sweet.
Yeah, it's true.
Kind of like ducks.
All right, so we take Bitcoin now, which is fun. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and App Store payments, I think, and the one weird one that I saw on there was Subway gift card. Give us your Subway gift cards.
We can take your free subs and turn them into video games.
Hey, sounds like a deal to me.
It actually, isn't that just reality? We take subs and turn them into games?
All right, so that's beamdog.com. Go in, check it out. It's only going to get better. Let us know your feedback through Facebook, Twitter. Contact us by support@beamdog.com if you run into any issues. And yeah, it's going to be a fantastic store. Yeah, I am so excited for it.
We've also got all of our games on sale on Fanatical.
Yes.
And they'll be promoting that, I believe, for the rest of the week here.
Yeah. And mobile. So
we're doing a massive sale on BG2 right now.
Yes, we are.
Crazy sale.
So if you got get out your phones and tablets and pick up Baldur's Gate 2 Enhanced Edition.
I think we're selling for like $2.
Yeah, it's about that.
It's just ridiculous.
Yeah, it's crazy.
We should totally quit.
Why are we doing this?
Why
are we
It's
here?
an experiment.
Oh.
I twiddle numbers and I want to see the outcome.
Hey, you know what one of the outcomes is?
What?
Last week's sale had Baldur's Gate Enhanced Edition at the number 2 spot in the Google Play paid apps.
I love that.
Yep. And currently, Baldur's Gate 2 is at number 5. So
if we could do that on Apple, I would be so happy. So if you're an Apple user or have friends that are Apple users, tell them and everyone that you know that is an Apple person to buy BG2 for $2 and drive us up to the top. Let's see if we can hit top 50 at least.
That would be fantastic.
That would be awesome.
What I would like to see is us hitting number 1 on Google Play and knocking Minecraft out of that number 1 spot. That would be delicious.
I'm kind of a Minecraft fan, so I don't mind being beat by them. They're
All
pretty
right.
good.
Well, okay, fair.
I remember the first time I saw Minecraft, I was like, man, that game looks like shit. Like total garbage. I would not play that. And then somebody gifted me a copy. And they're like, no, you got to play it. So I'm playing survival mode, and it's like, night is coming, the skeletons. I am so scared. I dug myself a hole and hid with a torch in this plain, sitting in a hole of dirt.
Yeah.
And then morning came, and I set out again to try and broaden my horizons. But I remember the feeling of terror.
That reminds me a lot about when I moved to Alberta.
You dug a hole in the dirt, and you were like, "Please don't let me die."
Yeah, it's winter is really tough here, so you got to do what you can do, right?
Yeah. Well, there is darkness at all hours. It's almost like 28 days of night.
Yeah. So the first time I saw Minecraft was at PAX, and somebody was trying to give me one of those pixelated like mining pick things.
Okay.
And I was like, no, I don't want that. I don't want to carry that around.
Yeah.
And
that thing's really ugly and dumb.
Yeah, what the fuck? And
what's wrong with you?
I get home and my buddy's like, oh man, I really want one of those things, but they're going for like $50 on Amazon. Like,
I could have got one for free.
I could have, but oh well. Regrets. What else is going on in marketing news?
We got a comment there that the price is off Canadian to USD. So it's $2 US, which means it's $3 in Kanekistan dollars.
Yes. Unfortunately, our loonie is not strong yet.
Yes.
Give us time.
And loonie means dollar for Americans or Europeans who are unaware.
Yeah.
So other thing we've got a book from Wizards of the Coast, Mordenkainen's Tome of Adventure of Foes.
Yeah.
Which is actually pretty cool. I started reading through it, and the whole bit at the start about the Blood War was actually enlightening.
Yeah, this book is as close to Planescape as we're going to see for a while.
Chapter 1, The Blood War.
It's so good.
It's good. It's good stuff, man.
You know,
and then it's basically, they've got the Gith, and their endless wars. They got elves, and it's pretty awesome. And
it also has a fairly sizable section on halflings and gnomes.
Which I don't understand, but we won't hold it against them.
Fair enough. You know, the test print that they did for their special cover, it said Tomb of Foes on it, and they had that on their live stream with Nathan Stewart, and it was hilarious. Go back and find that clip if you can find it. All right. And big shout out to Obsidian. Our friends over there sent us a whole ton of keys that we're going to hoard to ourselves, I think. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll totally hoard them. we are not sharing those.
Yes,
sorry.
Delicious.
We have to stay up to date on these games.
Yes.
Oh, here's an odd question I've never seen before in my life. Any news on Arcanum EE? The answer is no.
I thought we released that.
There will never be any news on Arcanum EE. Just because you keep asking, I will stop looking into it. I'm done. You can look into it.
I'll keep pushing that forward for you. I respect that. I don't think I've ever played this game, but it's causing a little bit of strife here, and I like that, so let's keep rolling with it.
Yeah. Here's a question. As 2.5 update focus are stability and voiceovers, after the release, will you release hotfixes regarding voiceover errors? If there's errors, we'll fix them as quick as we can, definitely. I mean, the instant we become aware of an error, it becomes like a weight that slowly crushes into the soul of the person responsible. And they want to get rid of that weight.
There are terrible consequences to creating bugs here. Terrible
It's like
consequences.
carrying a soul burden. A soul burden.
I see another question here. Spelljammer?
Spelljammer, when will it be coming? Well, if you were to ask Phil, Phil would be like, oh, it'll be Spelljammer, and boats and monsters, and oh, good. And no, Spelljammer is bad. bad.
I like Planescape myself. Spelljammer is for crazy people.
Boats don't float in space.
Is it
People
astral
die
space?
in space. It's a vacuum. You can't breathe. You
Isn't
explode.
it like an astral plane that they have there?
It's lies.
I do-
Spelljammer is lies.
I do appreciate that they have like
fly a boat through space.
They have hippos with shotguns, though. That's fun.
Hippos with shotguns.
Yeah, and actually the GIF, the hippo with shotgun race, is in Mordenkainen's Tome of Foes.
Really?
Yeah, it's in that book.
Hippos with shotguns.
Hippos with shotguns.
Oh, we made some pretty. You want to see that? It is. Oh, I will hand it to the Hand of Dan. Go, Hand of Dan. Show it to people.
It's weird seeing the Hand of Dan from this side of the camera.
I know. Everybody's used to the Hand of Dan being this. He has the longest fingers in creation. I didn't show you the backside. It has a Steam key on it.
It does. I saw it.
Yep.
I think there was an A in it.
No.
Oh.
No.
I mistook that 4 for an A.
You did.
All right, so there you guys go. That's your hint. Go and type numbers and letters into Steam.
Yep. And eventually you will get a combo that may work. We're still hiring.
Yes.
We are still hiring. We're still looking for a technical artist. We're looking for people to help out with the Infinity Engine stuff and people to help out with Neverwinter stuff.
I saw the word console on some of those postings.
You did. Yep.
Xbox One, PS4.
Xbox One, PS4, and Switch.
Yes. That would be fantastic.
We will be programming on those.
Yeah.
But we won't be shipping games on those. We'll just be programming on them for fun. This is like personal growth as a company. Here's a question. Any news on the rest of the 2.5 update for the other games? 2.5 is slowly stepping forward. I believe we just kind of pushed. Was it Baldur's Gate 2 went?
Yes, we had an update to the beta there.
Yes, we updated the beta. I think one of the big things to realize is that the 2.5 update was about this big. And then it got this big. And then it got this big. And every time it every time we do a round on it, it just gets bigger and we fix more issues. So we're going to continue rolling it forward. Here's a question. Why Phil is not bold anymore?
I think he's just feeling a little ill.
Yeah.
So that might cause him to not really want to be so brave.
No, I think they're asking why you, as Phil, are not bald.
Oh, okay. It's because I was born with this fantastic hair. I should have gone into news. I went to school for that, actually, but decided that there wasn't a whole lot of money in there. So,
admittedly, I'm feeling your late night TV host voice.
Okay.
It is totally. I feel like I'm with Knowlton Nash. If you don't know who Knowlton Nash is, he is brilliant. He is the best news anchor ever.
And that's the best compliment I'm going to get from Trent all day.
Forever.
Yeah.
Like, not today. Like ever.
Fair.
Like, Knowlton Nash sounds awesome.
All right. I'm going to have to listen to this guy.
I miss Knowlton Nash. He's retired. They should bring him back out of retirement, although I think he's probably really old.
Does that mean we can get him for cheap?
Possibly, but his voice might be gone.
Oh.
Sometimes you get a little older, your voice starts to fall apart.
Well, that's what auto-tune's for.
I guess. So next stream, we're going to be bringing in Niv.
Yes.
I don't know if you're not aware of the Neverwinter community or you've only peripherally touched the Neverwinter community, I would say Niv is like its beating heart.
Yes.
Badunk, badunk, badunk.
He has done so much for Neverwinter Vault and so much for Neverwinter Nights Enhanced Edition.
Oh yeah, I love Niv. I love you, Niv. I totally love you.
And it's fantastic working with you, Niv. We know you're watching. I think I see you in the stream there. So I hope that your face is red and you can't go on your motorbike trip today, because
much of the awesome that is happening in Neverwinter Nights Enhanced Edition right now is Niv.
Yeah.
Niv is somehow involved.
Yeah, he's pushing everything forward for sure.
Here's a question. Is any chance for a collector's edition of Neverwinter Nights like you did for Siege of Dragonspear? We have talked about that topic, and I think the big thing is we really want to come up with a pretty cool package before we do any kind of collectorish thing with it. So on that front, maybe at some point.
I would love to see that.
Another question. Any update on Neverwinter Nights Enhanced Edition on GOG? Any talks going on? Yes, words have been fired one way, and words have returned in a volley.
I have seen these words.
And words, we're working on it.
I can confirm there are words.
Yeah, it won't, we got nothing to announce right now, but it's close. We'll get stuff off.
All right, I see a question here.
You can handle that one.
Is it full moon in Canada? Is Phil going to have to go on a rampage? Does Trent have any silver weapons in his arsenal?
Actually, I don't. I don't have any silver weapons. When I do the Damascus stuff, it's got a lot of nickel in it. So I also kind of operate on the bulk theory, whereas yeah, silver weapon, one stab might kill him, but you know what? If I hack somebody into little itty bitty pieces with an axe, it doesn't really matter if it's silver or not.
Well,
it'd take a while for all those little bitties to get back together.
Maybe they just become little werewolves. Is that how they breed? I don't know.
No, I think there's meaty chunks that slowly reassemble.
So you just throw those in the blender, and maybe you just
just keep. Honestly, pour them into concrete. Yeah. That's an easy way to deal with a werewolf. You don't need silver. You just chop them up into pieces, put the pieces in a foundation, and concrete them in there.
I think that's pretty grim, but hey.
I'm a practical man doing practical things. So speaking of weapons, I have weapons. I've been doing some smithing. So I have this, which is a Tanto, which has a really blocky handle on it because I actually just glued the scales on last night. Now you'll think, gee, that looks really clunky, but I just glued them on. I didn't bother pre-cutting them to shape because I was in a hurry.
Trent's going to add some more polygons to that knife later.
Yeah, everybody was commenting, that's a really low poly handle, man. You're totally doing it nice. But the key thing with the Tanto is you should be able to stab someone through a car door with the Tanto, which this one is totally set up for that.
So when are we testing that?
I also made a throwing knife. I think I showed this previously, but I sharpened it up when I was playing with it. It's all gouged up now because it kept hitting concrete after it fell off of whatever I was throwing it at. I tried a couple different techniques at it. I found actually throwing it underhanded to be one of the happier ways of throwing it. So it's pretty cool. The Tanto and this are both L6 tool steel, which is, I love that steel. It's pretty cool. It's hard, it's strong, it's tough. Takes a lot of abuse. You can bend it and it just snaps back. It's pretty awesome. And then recently Forged in Fire had a karambit that they had to make. So I made a karambit. A karambit is basically a really mean little knife. The concept is it's almost like a raptor claw. You hold it in your hand and then you gouge things horribly. And I was watching the one Forged in Fire episode they had when Doug Marcotti used it. He ripped up and then pivoted his grip and ripped down with it. And you're like, oh, God.
Yep.
That looks so horrible. But I thought the karambit was kind of cool. So they did it in 3 hours. It took me about probably 2.5 hours to forge out and get ready to heat treat. So I'm within the timeline.
Yeah.
It's capable. It's possible.
When are these hitting your Etsy store?
I was thinking about that. I'm like, gee, I got a pile of weapons piling up here. I should probably do something with this.
We should do an ultimate collector's edition. So we create one of these things.
I had a proposal, actually. It was the Saravok Ultimate Baldur's Gate collection, and it was a Saravok suit of full plate mail with a USB key stuck in under the ball symbol. So you pull it off, there's the USB key.
I think you shouldn't be able to pull that USB key off. You have to plug the entire suit of plate into your computer to play.
It only costs $50,000.
And that's just the shipping.
Yeah.
All right.
Here's a question. Is Beamdog still investing heavily in Neverwinter Nights' future? Improvements for years? I got a roadmap that takes us out for quite a while. So we've got a lot of work planned for Neverwinter.
Yep.
And we're just going to keep marching it forward.
Yeah, the Trello page keeps on growing. Keep on seeing cards appeared there.
Yep. Here's a question about model scaling.
Mm.
With the model scaling you guys have been working on, will it also adjust the hitbox and attack range of the creature? For example, would a human-sized dragon have the same hitbox as a human? Currently it doesn't. Currently the creature, we're just modifying its visuals. But that's something I think we can do down the road.
For sure.
It's going to be one of those issues where if you suddenly if you make it too big for the environment that you're in, you're going to suddenly explode everything, which could be bad.
All right, so here's a question for you, Trent.
Fire.
How many car doors have you stabbed lately?
0.
Oh.
Because I like cars.
Okay.
So
what about trucks?
I like trucks too.
Vans?
I haven't stabbed any doors lately. I haven't actually stabbed anything. I am actually pretty stabless in terms of... the only thing I've done is throw the throwing knife at a bunch of cardboard boxes I had polished up, stacked up.
We should take... Dan says, for $500, you can stab my car.
Will you pay me $500 to stab your car? Because I'd be into that. Yeah. But I don't want to pay to stab a car.
What we should do is take the team out to that axe throwing area.
We could do that, or we could just get a stump and I could fab up some axes and we could do it.
I think I've got a stump. I'll bring Stump in.
Yeah.
Stump on Monday? Stump Monday.
Stump Monday. What? Monday's a holiday.
Oh, Stump Tuesday.
Stump Tuesday.
Yeah, Tuesdays are question mark days on the calendar. So, Dan, Stump Tuesday.
So we're going to give away a Steam key.
Oh, cool.
To Andy Loves Brandy 111.
Oh, that's good.
Well done, Brandy. You have a lovely man there in Andy.
Mm-hmm. Do you carve that into a tree, or is this the environmentally friendly version of that?
Or do you burn it into somebody?
Yeah.
Will the Hand of Dan be a new Neverwinter Nights Enhanced Edition spell? The answer is yes.
Yeah. It's like Bigby's hand, but...
Bigby's Hand of Ostentatious Presentation.
Yeah. It's a level 2 spell.
Yeah.
And Dan says that you can play as Dan soon?
We're going to add a playable character called Dan that has the spell Hand of Dan.
Yeah. That's his only spell? Is it a racial trait?
Here was a question. Any news on the Gold Box EE front? Have you seen Bard's Tale Remastered? I tagged you in the thread. It looks awesome. I haven't seen Bard's Tale Remastered. But on the Gold Box EE front, the Gold Box is kind of wrapped up in a lot of separate contracts. So it's probably close to my threshold. Like once it goes beyond about 5 different companies involved in a contract, I kind of want to walk away. But
we could go for a Guinness Book of World Records thing.
7 epic companies all looking for their own things and angling stuff. Yeah. Here's a question. Do you need a license to carry those weapons? So in Canada, it's the rules are weird.
Yeah. Is it province by province?
There's a bit of a province effect, but the overall rules are it's about intent. If you have a weapon with the intent of murdering people or hurting people, that is illegal. But if you are carrying a weapon with the intent of utilizing it for some mundane feature, it's fine. So if you're carrying a machete down a public street loaded with people, probably bad. If you're carrying a machete in your backyard to chop some trees, probably okay.
So if I'm just carrying this in my back pocket and I'm saying, hey, no, it's my bottle opener, what's going on? There's no problem with this.
There's a line there. You probably don't want to push it too much. I usually feel really sketchy as I walk through the back alley behind our office, bringing all my stabby stuff to work.
It's pretty hard not to walk through that back alley and not feel sketchy.
Yeah, true. I feel well defended in a sketchy area then.
That's probably for the best.
Yeah.
All right, so here's a question. Mech Commander Enhanced Edition. When? Silent Storm Enhanced Edition when? There's a lot of whens and Enhanced Editions here.
We do one game and suddenly everybody's like, the next game. We got to finish. We got to keep... We got so many things we got to finish up.
Yeah, between the 2.5 and Neverwinter Nights, let's do this right and then move on.
Yeah. So here was a proposal that Phil would wear a chainmail bikini for the live stream if we sold 1 million units of Neverwinter Nights Enhanced Edition. I don't recall Phil ever making that bargain, but I'm totally willing to commit him to that bargain with him not being here.
Yeah, I'm more than happy to get on board.
As his proxy to sign in.
I'm here. I'm Phil-ish. Phil adjacent.
You're filling in for Phil.
Yep.
So.
All right, Phil, you're up, buddy.
Yep. When we crack 1 million units, you are chainmail bikini streaming.
I'd like to see kind of like a Red Sonja vibe.
So the big thing I think he should do is he might have to shave a bit because He's a little furry right now,
All right.
and I can see there being a lot of tugging and hair loss.
All right. We will live stream the waxing of Phil's chest.
I'll just do it with fire. Here's a question. How far have Beamdog progressed in making a new campaign? That is a good question. Not too far yet. We're really kind of still working on the tooling, figuring everything out, figuring out
Writers are pitching like mad.
how far you can take the Neverwinter Aurora engine.
They want to push it. It's going to be cool. All right, so here's a question.
Okay.
Any news on the tool set?
Toolset is slowly iterating forward. We're still testing the iteration or the version of it. When we're confident nothing is broken, it will get pushed to main.
Cool.
So big goal coming up is the 175 stability patch. So that should be kind of a good point to kick off. And we'll make sure the tool set comes fairly soon after that.
According to Niv, that patch is coming soon.
Pretty quick. Speaking of Niv, we're going to have him on next stream.
Yes.
He'll be remotely calling in.
Oh, we're not flying him down?
We are not flying him for a stream.
Oh, that's too bad. I was going to ship him baggage.
Yeah.
All right. I guess...
Dan is giving us a prompt saying, let's show off some shields,
Yeah,
man.
I like how he highlights it a couple of times, and then the font gets bigger and bigger and
and
bigger.
he starts flashing the font. And we're like,
All
all right.
All right.
Fine.
Close. All right, so shields. Let's go to Neverwinter Nights Enhanced Edition. You guys get to see all the games that I play.
While he's loading, I'm going to update you guys. We're still going back and forth with Intel on the GPU issues. They have managed to isolate the crashes, and they found some GPU corruption, specifically in the driver stack. So they're digging into that, trying to find out what the issue is on their end. It appears that it is a driver issue, so I'm hoping that they can fix it.
All right. So here we go. So Boyd pushed this out, this module out to the Steam Workshop just this morning.
Yep.
So we've got a selection of tower shields and regular shields. All tower shields, actually.
All tower shields.
All tower shields. So let's pick a couple up here. Different colors. I'm pretty sure I'd be straining under this weight.
This is the joy of video games. You can carry a lot of stuff.
All right. So
Ting.
that looks phenomenal.
There's some nice details on there.
Yeah, I like that. They come in different colors. I would sell these in my Etsy shop.
In your Etsy shop.
Yep.
Buy a tower shield. Shipping, your problem. Did I say tower shield? I meant 5 foot tall tower shield, probably weighing 40, 50 pounds.
Home defense. Actually, there's all those exercise classes that are all about swords these days.
Yep.
So there should be one about shields. You know?
Shields.
Maybe combine that with the boxing class.
Punch daggers.
Yeah, there we go. Let's see that. I like the scar that he's put in there.
Yep.
Yeah, gives it that
Character.
Yeah, used.
Yep.
Feels real.
Definitely been whacked a time or two.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking on Neverwinter, there's a couple issues right now on the premium modules not working properly in multiplayer. We're still looking into those. And since 8171, the creature scripts events on damaged and on melee attacked are not working properly. I just saw the fix go in today, so it's going to take a while for that to propagate through. But that will be up pretty quick.
Yeah, we won't see that fixed in 8172, but
It'll be 8175 for sure.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
All right.
We've added a race selection UI and character generation. It's now a list instead of a bunch of predefined buttons, just like the class selection. So it allows a lot more racial options there. And our races can actually now have an icon. You put the icon in the racial types.2da, and it's up to custom content. We're currently not shipping icons for the races, so if you want to customize, go ahead.
Actually, we could check that out right now. We have a module set up.
We do?
We do.
Madness.
Talking my language.
Fix-wise, death attack now shows properly in defeat messages in the combat log. Incorrectly rendered armor part colors in character gen have been fixed. And we had a workaround for an issue where servers could get confused by multiple clients behind network address translation on the same port. They now rando choose a port, which is actually pretty cool. And we fixed an issue with where custom content tiles cannot be laid down in the tool set, notably the seasonal forest. We've also improved the crash handlers. So when you should be getting better crash messages now. Wow, you can be a brownie?
You can be a brownie.
Why? Why would you want to be a brownie? Come on.
Tiny only campaigns. Everything's a giant. It's fun.
Smash it with a hammer.
Yeah, a rat is dangerous now. All right.
Brownies fall into the punt rule. Anything you can score a field goal with, not scary.
All right.
It's like the Chucky movies. Chucky's not terrifying. Chucky, one good field goal, patoom! It is good!
All right.
That is how you deal with Chucky.
That sounds like a great new mod or module. Somebody get on that.
Chucky.
All right. So in this module, they have a new class, Pastoral Defender.
Pastoral Defender.
Yep.
Are you a brownie Pastoral Defender?
Absolutely.
Oh my God. So you're basically a brownie shepherd.
Yeah. It has a little N7 and everything.
Oh. Bad joke, man. Bad joke.
This is how I live.
Here's a question. How's the work going on the Neverwinter Nights UI? Well, at this point, we have completed the deconstruction of the Neverwinter UI, and we have found approximately 260 distinct panels that all have their own little issues. So based on all those findings, we are now going to kind of build a master plan on how to make the Neverwinter UI work properly.
All right.
So it's going to be, we kind of evaluated a lot of different solutions, all the way from Chromium on top to custom UI toolkits and we're going to take the approach of working with what is there and enabling it, kind of like what we did on the Baldur's Gate Enhanced Edition stuff, where we took a semi-functional UI system and tried to extend it out, got mad, tore most of it down, rebuilt it, and put all the new content, all the old content into the new system. So got a question. How are sales looking? Are we close to 1 mil? No, we're still a little ways from 1 mil. Phil will not have to buff out his chainmail bikini for a while.
Give it a week.
But if you guys kick pretty hard, you know, it could happen.
This is a goal to work towards. All right. Before we get started here, I will point out that there is one more known issue on some premium modules and custom created modules. The random name generator has been disabled, so Phil won't be able to click through until he finds a suitable silly name, so I had to write this up.
And you have chosen the name Biff the Understudy.
It's my spirit animal.
Your spirit animal is Biff the Understudy?
This is who I want to be.
You are ready to step in and assume any role at any time, but your stats are not so awesome.
It speaks to me. All right. So... oh, there I am.
Yes,
I am a brownie.
You are a brownie.
So small. And
you're going to sit in a chair?
I am too little for this chair.
You are too little for the chair. That's awesome.
Yeah, I cannot sit in these chairs because I am too small. So I can run around here. Let's see. I think there is a weapon rack around here. So there's a friendly giant.
A friendly giant.
But... even better, there's a brownie-sized seat here. So now I can sit down.
You actually sat in a brownie-sized chair.
Yes, it is just the right size.
Not too small, not too big.
Very Goldilocks.
Just right.
All right, so let's pop over here, grab some weapons, and yeah.
So the brownie model was actually from the community. It was created by Kinar Greycloak. And he's sweet.
All right.
If you want to be a brownie,
that's
you
right.
now have the option to be a brownie.
So this short sword is actually a two-hander for me.
That is crazy.
All right, so I'm going to run around. And he's telling me to have a seat.
That is a truly friendly giant.
Yes, and he's telling me to continue on my way to the north because...
so this is a thing that most people probably don't know. That giant model... if you zoom in and you look closely at his belt actually says Texas. You'll never get in close enough to see it, but the source texture actually said Texas. The artist who built it, Shawnee Smales, he was just going hard one day, and he put in this big belt buckle that said Texas. Nobody noticed till after the game shipped, and then afterwards we're like, it's in there. It's good.
And that's how you do it.
Yep.
All right, so here's the door to Brownie Town.
The door to Brownie Town.
Yep. Apparently, any race other than Brownie, you can't
go through the door.
Well, halflings might be able to, but they're a little fat.
Fair enough.
Yeah. I don't know about gnomes, though.
And you were in Brownie Town.
I am now in Brownie Town.
So here's a question about Baldur's Gate. The Tempest kit maintains its special ability to cast when dual classed. Is it supposed to be that way? I actually have no clue on that one. I would assume if you're referring to while you're dual classing and you're leveling up the other class, it should be no. But if you're fully dual classed, it should be yes. So I'm not positive there.
You should throw out a poll. Throw it to the fans.
Here's a question, kind of dumb. Can we do a door as a shield? Be awesome shield bashing goblins with a door. No, I will not do that.
Wasn't there a door shield in Pillars of Eternity?
Was there?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
You just took a door and you're like, this is my shield.
Yep.
Okay.
Shaped like a door. But as somebody who's currently renovating a house, do you know how much doors cost? Just get a regular shield.
Yeah. Here's a question. Is the update that will fix multiplayer load save with premium modules close? Yes. It is. That is one of the things we're working on. And question about how about decrypting the premium modules so we can open and modify them in the tool set. It's actually in the works as well. We're digging through that one right now. Another question. It seems a lot of people are interested in improvised weapons for NWN. Any plans for additional content related to that? Improvised weapons.
That would be an improvised weapon. That would be an improvised weapon.
Mordenkainen's Tome of Foes. I don't think it would be an awesome improvised weapon.
It's got at least a +1 on it.
It's +1, but it's a book, so it's like 1d1 damage.
+1.
So
it's guaranteed 2 damage.
It's guaranteed 2 damage.
Yeah. But a table leg or a bar stool or something like that.
Fair enough. Anything that you come across. Let me think on that one. I am not sure. I'll definitely have to think about that.
Do we have a Drunken Brawler class yet? Because
No.
that would be fun. For role-playing anyways.
The Drunken Brawler class. I think I knew that class when I was growing up.
That was college.
I think I totally knew that guy. There was also a fix when tile emitters do not have a valid animation node on the Steamworks tile set that was up. There was an issue, so that's been fixed. Another question, would a world map feature be super awesome?
I think it would be pretty awesome.
I know the Ossian guys did that in Darkness Over Daggerford.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they were able to script it in.
We should talk to them.
If they were able to script it in, why can't anybody else?
Yeah. Alan over there is pretty fun. We could get that.
Alan's he's a good fellow.
Yeah. All right.
Do you know Alan was actually my producer on Neverwinter Nights? He handled the audio.
Yeah.
Specifically, he dealt a lot with the music.
Good.
He was a layer between Jeremy Soule and myself. Jeremy and I did not have the awesomest of relationships.
But the soundtrack is fantastic.
Soundtrack is really good.
Yep.
And Alan had a big part in that, and Jeremy did really good work. Just
yeah.
For some reason we have a communication issue back in the day.
Speaking of communication issues, Dan is trying to tell us that it's t-shirt time.
Is it t-shirt time? Is that big flashing text on the screen meaning it's t-shirt time? All right, fine. What is that, 60-point font, Dan? 60? 48. 48-point font.
All right.
So we'll give away a t-shirt. I believe a Neverwinter t-shirt is the one we're giving away. To Mr. Bricks SB.
Brixby.
Brixby.
Mr. Brixby. He sounds like a character from Cats.
Brixby. Possibly.
So I see a question here. Single word, pathing.
Pathing. And I'm assuming by pathing you mean pathfinding in the game. Pathing is one of those things that, let's say it chaps my ass. Pathfinding in Neverwinter has moments where it's awesome, and it has moments where it's so south of awesome that I want to stab things. So,
like car doors.
like car doors.
Right.
but there's no car doors handy, and I'm not really into stabbing car doors because that's
Parking
just
lot.
vandalism, man. I'm not into vandalism.
It's not vandalism if you give Dan $500. We've already been through this.
Totally don't want to give Dan $500.
Fair. So here's a question. Will
Yes.
we be able to use halflings as a shield model?
I am totally up for that. We just got to figure out how to immobilize a halfling and strap him to your arm and use him as a shield.
I think you need to take a feat for that,
I
but
think
not for
that's-
gnomes.
I think, yeah, gnomes are free. Gnome shield, not even a feat. It's a freebie. Everybody gets it, except for gnomes.
I think that might be fun,
Yeah.
but you have to dual wield it.
You dual wield gnomes.
All right.
I'm going to dual wield my gnome shields as improvised weapons. Whoopsh.
So here's a question.
Yep.
Why IE darts haven't got strength bonus like slings and throwing daggers / axes? Would it spoil the game with their 3 APR?
I don't know.
That's pretty crunchy.
That is pretty deep.
Mm-hmm.
I think because somebody decided it needed to be that way.
All right.
And I'm not sure who made that decision. And it could have been an error by omission, which quite often those are. Some features, the matrix of possible representations that make up weapons in IE is so complicated that sometimes a 1 is a 0 instead,
All right.
when it should be a 1.
So before we move on, I want to say special thanks to Bill Harper for putting this module together. I would like to see somebody dig into that like really tiny campaign and send it to us, and make sure that Phil dies in it, because we haven't got enough Kill Phil modules. We had that one, which is absolutely fantastic, and that person got a special badge in the forum.
They did?
Yeah, so if you want that special badge, we should do that.
We should.
Yeah.
There was a question about what do we think about Chris Avalon's comments about Obsidian on the Codex. That would imply that we pay attention to the Codex.
Yeah.
I'm kidding. I'm aware of Chris's comments, and Chris is a good guy, and he's free to express his opinion on stuff. I am not Chris, and therefore was not through whatever he's been through, so I can't really comment on it.
No comment. That's a very me statement. All right, Dan, you got any other questions for us?
It just was not my thing. I wasn't through whatever Chris was through. All I can say is, as an independent game studio owner and operator, being a game studio owner and operator is hard.
It's not easy.
It is like, I forget his name, Mark Anderson of God, what was the name of it back in the day? Pre-Firefox, Mozilla, Netscape.
Oh man,
He
going
said,
back.
there's only 2 emotions in a startup, exhilaration and terror, and I find the lack of sleep enhances both. That probably adequately describes running a game studio. One moment you're like, yeah, we're on top of the world, and then the next minute you're like, oh my god, all of our stuff is on fire and everybody hates us. And then 7 minutes later you're like, yeah, we fixed it and people love us again. And then everybody's hating us again. And it's just madness, man.
I've only been in games for about 5 years, but I can say that's 100% accurate. That is Monday to Friday. That's your experience.
Who needs drugs, man?
Yeah. Well, that's what Saturday and Sunday are for.
That's how you moderate. That's how you survive.
All right.
Here's a question. With everything currently approved to develop on the plan for Neverwinter, how long would it take to develop? Probably 3 or 4 years.
Yep.
We've got years worth of development work there. And that's the public stuff that we're committed to improving in Neverwinter Enhanced Edition. Obviously, we want to step it forward beyond that. So
And that's not including all the secrets.
all the secret stuff.
Secrets.
Yeah.
So delicious.
Yeah, we never talk about the secret stuff.
We do have some questions down here that were
do.
sent in via social media.
Oh, God.
Yes. So good. So will PSTE get some love once the 2.5 patch series is over?
Probably.
Well, currently 1.3.4 is only available on Steam. We do plan on getting that out to GOG, the App Store, Google Play, and basically anywhere that Planescape Torment Enhanced Edition is. That doesn't bring a whole lot in the way of fixes and features, but it does bring check. localization to the game.
So I think the key thing is Planescape was actually in a pretty good state. We put a lot of QA time into that, so we're pretty happy with it. After 2.5, I mean, if there's a big enough list of stuff that needs to be addressed, we can definitely do that. Here's a question. Chaps my ass as a potential class?
Yeah, absolutely. Rogue?
Chaps my ass.
Or Sorcerer Rogue build? I don't know.
I don't know what build that would be.
Yeah.
It'd probably be like some kind of racial gnome requirement or
something. Or a gnomish prestige class. Let's go with that. All right. I have another question from social media. When will the 2.5 patch for Icewind Dale Enhanced Edition reach the Mac App Store?
Yeah, Mac App Store. We kind of cocked that one up. Mac App Store has languished a bit because it's a bit of there's a couple extra steps for us pushing a build there. So we wanted to kind of wait until we had a really good build before pushing it up. So once we get the 2.5 update done on Icewind Dale EE, we should be up on the Mac App Store within a week or two. So we're really trying to improve the Mac App Store experience. It's just one of those things that when you're doing 10,000 things, number 9,996 kind of doesn't get a lot of love.
I think the real big thing here is that we still have the beta for Baldur's Gate and Baldur's Gate 2, so getting those out across all platforms, and then doing some focus testing to make sure that the experience is really good on that Mac Store.
And that's really the challenge is, I mean, we put in a bunch of fixes, a bunch of features, then we have to run through a huge volume of testing because I think if you add all of our games together, we've got probably close to like 400 hours of adventure here. So it's a pain in the butt to cover all that data.
I sit across from the QA people here. Kristen, you may have seen her in a previous stream, and wow, they work hard. They chew through content like crazy.
There is a lot of stuff. Here's a question I'm not totally sure I understand. GeoCities has returned from the dead. Any plans to remake star on GeoCities? Skull turning into smoke GIF and all.
The instant I saw GeoCities, I said no. But that's my take on it. But I have no power here.
Right. Here's a question. Is there new stuff coming in the workshop? New character models, tile sets, question. No comment. When we get stuff done, we'll drop it. Until it's done, we don't drop it. So we'll be making new stuff going forward. Boyd's continuing to kind of roll on weapons in addition to his other duties. So we're going to continue rolling on that stuff and trying to make things better. Yeah,
tower shields are available today. It's a very tiny drop in the bucket, I know, but they're there.
And they're pretty. Yep. This is kind of a question, but it also could be a statement. More official DLC modules like Darkness over Daggerford, Tyrants of the Moon Sea, Hex Coda, or the cancelled sequel of Hex Coda.
Hex Coda, was that the sci-fi one?
I do not remember. So, I think this is a request, so request duly noted.
All right.
Here's another thing. I see a lot of talk about dev/test builds for NWN EE. Is a live build coming soon? The answer is yes, soonish. So we've laid out, the master plan is to do the 1.7.5 update, which will be a good stability update. We're going to allow that one a lot of extra testing so we can make sure it is good, solid, and then we will, once we roll it out, we'll work with Persistent Worlds to make sure they can get it up and running and everything is working awesome for them.
Now here's a question. Any news for achievements and cards for Steam? So I don't know about achievements, but I have been working on trading cards and badges.
Yeah,
so
I saw a message in my Steam desktop that they bounced some of ours because they were too small. They couldn't make out the details, so we're fixing them.
Yep, I'm on it. All right, so here's another question. I see a lot of talk about dev test builds for Neverwinter Nights Enhanced Edition.
That one. I totally answered that one.
Hey, I was so focused on my question. All right.
They'd be paying attention.
Well then, here's another question from social media. How to migrate 1.69 server vaults to 7.4? Can you provide some insight on how to transfer the server vaults from 1.69 to 7.4?
This is a problem that probably a couple people are going to have to deal with. So I think the best way to do it is get on the forums.
Yeah.
And we'll basically post out the process for how to do it. In most cases, I don't think there's a ton of changes. There'll be a couple because we've just opened up the formats and added a little more data to it. So it should be pretty reasonable.
I don't think Niv has enough work on his plate, so
Niv needs more work.
Yeah.
He just loves work.
All right. I'll talk to Niv and talk to Julius, and we'll see what we can put together.
Yep. Or if you've done the process and you have a flawless way of doing it, feel free to post it up on the forums to help other people.
If we are,
because that's what it's all about.
Yeah, yeah. And if we are suitably impressed, there might be a T-shirt. That is the extent of my marketing budget. Sending out one T-shirt.
Yeah, you've blown your entire marketing budget for the year.
But I did it for you.
Yeah. So here's some feedback on the Hex Coda. Hex Coda story was a mix of fantasy and science fiction and involved the protagonist dealing with the machinations of a multinational corporation called Cathedral.
I'd play that. Good to know. We'll look into it.
Isn't there a multinational corporation called Cathedral? Wouldn't that essentially be the church?
You know, they've got to have a place where they can dump money, right? All right. Here's a statement. Help, I'm trapped in a teleprompter factory.
I feel sorry for you. We will say words once in a while.
All right. I was expecting a little bit of a blood stain at the end of that, like ... And that's it. All right. That was Niv. We announced that you were coming on next week, by the way. All right. Niv, I think we're going to have to make you jump through some hoops here. I was going to send you the questions beforehand, but let's make you sweat.
We'll do some improv questions. We'll just randomly make them up. It'll be like stream of consciousness questions.
Cool.
If you were a vegetable, what kind of vegetable would you be?
Eggplant. Speaking of improv, aren't we going somewhere at the end of the month?
We are going somewhere.
Cool.
So Wizards of the Coast is doing the Stream of Many Eyes. It's actually at the beginning of next month.
Yes, it is.
So we're actually going the end of this month. We're going to be flying down, and we're going to be getting set up. And there may or may not be some costuming involved. So it might be interesting.
I know I'll be in costume. I will pre-announce that I will be Biff the Understudy, my favorite meta character from Baldur's Gate 1 and 2.
He truly is a meta character.
I don't think that they've shared a whole lot about the event, but if you pop on Twitter and follow Dungeons & Dragons, which you absolutely should be.
They're totally building a massive set that's going to look like a street in Waterdeep. They posted up some Twitter stuff, and it looks awesome.
It's so cool.
It looks awesome.
I'm looking forward to sharing some pictures and hopefully live streaming a little bit from the event.
It should be pretty cool. So they had some footage they shared on Twitter. You can see kind of the back of the stage. You can see kind of the roof profiles and stuff they're making. It should be a pretty epic event.
What are we doing there, anyways?
Drinking. We're drinking a lot.
Okay.
And occasionally we will wander through and riotously yell things at people. I guess the answer is harassing.
Yeah,
We're mostly into harassing and drinking.
I've been training for this moment my entire life.
Haven't we all? Haven't we all?
So if you want to get into games...
do a lot of role-playing, play D&D, do some drinking, because you got to build up that fortitude.
But if you don't drink, that's cool too. We have a few people in the office that that's not their thing, and we respect their decision, but they have to drink a lot of coffee. A lot of coffee. All right. Do we want to talk about hiring people again?
Do we want to talk about that?
Yeah, I think it's important that you join our team. So we're looking for producers, designers, tech artists still.
Yeah, we've got a ton of job postings up. So we've added a fair number of people to the team, and we're looking to add even more. So we've just got so many opportunities and so many things ahead of us that we're so excited about. We want to just get them rolling as fast as we can, and we want to bring in as many good, talented people as we can.
I'm excited to see more people join the team. I'm excited to stack people on top of each other.
I totally think that coffins are an option, man. You basically, like those Thule kind of carriers that go on top of vehicles. You build like fiberglass ones like that. People could lie down in them. You could have your keyboard on your belly, and you could have a screen right in front of your face. You could be like working like that.
I was thinking the other way, where it'd be like hammocks
Okay.
or like little cocoon pods.
Yeah.
So you show up to work, you get tied up, if that's your thing, and
We just suspend you.
yeah, yeah. And if you need to be like moved around, we'll have Dan shift people. I'm sure we can figure out like a
just
whole
have
system of ropes and pulleys.
It's an overhead crane, man.
Yeah. Trent's shop has some space, and I also have a dilapidated basement that we can move people into.
Once upon a time, in university, I had a summer job working in a welding production shop, and this shop was like workers' comp heaven. It was a shop that was built for maybe 30 people, and there was about 60 people working in there. And at any moment, wherever you were standing, you could turn and spot a horrific accident about to happen. I watched across the way as a guy was standing on about a 12-foot tall ladder with a 1-inch drill. It has the big post sticking out, drilling into the bottom of a pressure vessel. And the drill bit caught. He got punched in the jaw by the one arm, and he fell, boom, down 12 feet onto concrete. And he was laying there going, "Argh!" And so a bunch of guys came over, picked him up, hauled him off.
I was on a work site once, and there's some guy up a ladder about 30 feet, and he had like a pressurized nailer, and he's holding his hand. He's got a gloved hand there. He's just going ka-chunk, ka-chunk, ka-chunk.
Yep.
30 feet up. And what do you do at that point? I guess you drop
You
drop the nailer, and you probably shouldn't kick out with your feet and knock the ladder over, but this guy did. So he's hanging there
with his hand.
with his hand. He's nailed. So it's he's hanging there. He's just hanging out.
Just hanging out. That's harsh, man.
Yeah, that was a
I had a
was a
buddy
great day.
who was working in a shop, and he was using a power nailer, and he had a double tap, and it drove the nail up inside his palm. So they took him to the hospital. He walks up to the nurse, and the nurse is like, "So what seems to be your problem?" He goes up to her. He goes, nail sticking out. She's like, "Oh my, okay, let's get you in and X-ray you." So they checked him out.
Yeah.
Didn't hit anything serious. They were able to extract it, and he was fine. But
so that's
that
where Assassin's Creed drew that inspiration from, right?
maybe.
Yeah.
That's totally Darren.
All right.
That's what he would do. He just walks up. What's the problem? Nail.
So the lesson to learn here is go into gaming and don't go into trades. Unless you really want to go into trades, but I highly recommend going into gaming instead.
The likelihood of bleeding is lower in gaming.
Oh,
Slightly.
maybe a little bit higher here.
Here's a question. Will we finally interview Holly Conrad at the Stream of Many Eyes about her Neverwinter obsession? Probably not. I think Holly's going to be pretty slammed there. If anything, we'll basically just hook up with her and say, "Hi, how you doing?" Hang out briefly, and I think she's got a lot of other things going on there.
But we can see what we can do.
Assuming she's there, of course.
Oh, she's there.
She's announced there?
Yep.
That would be cool.
I think she is.
Oh,
Pretty
speaking of worker comps, there was a...
I like how he points at me.
In that same shop, there was this guy bent over welding, and a guy was moving a joint of like 20-inch pipe across using the overhead crane, and the welding guy stood up just perfect. Ba-dong! And he made this really great bell-ringing sound across the whole shop space. It's like bong, gong, gong. And welder is lying face down, out cold.
It seems like our brand is to end the stream with horrible, horrible stories.
This is the reason you do not want to be in a welding shop. You should make video games.
Right.
Much less likely to die.
Yes. So before we wrap up, we should give away another T-shirt.
We should give away a T-shirt.
All right. So who should we give that T-shirt to?
I believe the winner of the T-shirt is Citara 1979. That was a good year, 79.
Yep. I don't remember it.
I can't remember anything about it, but it must have been a good year.
Yeah, fantastic year for somebody to name themselves after it.
Exactly. It
Citara.
must mean something to somebody.
All right. Quiet. Crickets.
Silence.
All right. Well, this has been fun for me. This is the first time I've been on a live stream. It's the first time I've impersonated Phil on the live stream, and I promise you next time I do it, I will bring the beard. I'm not touching my hair, but I might get a bald cap.
Bald caps. Interesting concept, bald caps.
Yeah.
I've never tried one. I might have to check that out. So next week,
Yeah.
Niv's going to be calling in. Other high points, we're hiring. We're
Yes.
hiring a lot, like a lot of people.
Lots of people.
It's we're looking for really good people to join the team. As a whole, we're a pretty fun org. I think people enjoy working here.
Yeah.
The bullshit is pretty low because I'm a hyper accessible dude,
Mm-hmm.
and I say silly stuff.
The team is a really fun team to work with. After hours, we play D&T, or D&D, not D&T.
D&T.
That's a completely different game. I'm
Yep.
not sure what it is, but we might make it someday.
D&T.
So, yeah, we go out for lunch together. We do a lot of stuff here in the office. Dan keeps things really fun. It's just a fantastic place to work.
Speaking of tea, Dan was currently playing with tea in the lunchroom.
Mm-hmm. If you want to work with Dan and play with arts and crafts, come send us your resume.
Dan's job, his title is Office Operations because it was broad enough to allow us to have him do anything.
I wanted it to be People Ops, to be so Google, but people said no.
Yeah, Office Operations, which means anything that needs getting done in or around the office, Dan has the power.
And he gets it done, which
Yep.
is great.
And sometimes that's burning things in the back alley. Sometimes that's smashing tea bags into things.
Yeah, you know, the office is above a store called Sanctuary, which is a really fun place, and the girls who work there, they make these fun little videos, which are often very grim.
They're funny in the back.
Yeah.
We see them in the back alley periodically screaming and freaking out. We're like, what's going on? Oh, it's them.
Yep. I recall walking out of the back of the office here, and all I see is a bloodstain and a mermaid tail tucked under a van.
Yep.
And it was just another day at the office.
Exactly. This is the world that we live in.
Mm-hmm.
I think there was a Sesame Street song like that.
All right. Are we done?
I think we're done.
Excellent.